Welcome to the West Ham Voice and to Tuesday, the 20th of September's edition of 6foot2.co.uk's headlines. Thank you for joining me. If you've yet to subscribe to this channel, please do so by going to the West Ham Voice on YouTube and hit that like button, hit the subscribe button and hit the bell notification to let you know when I'm next on and doing a show. And if you have yet to become a member of 6foot2.co.uk, or even if you've yet to visit the website, please do so. It's number 6foot2.co.uk. Free membership on that website. You can join. And there's so much news that you can get. You've got the daily news stories. We've got our own exclusive stories that come up on a daily basis. We've got a Now News section, which brings together all the latest news about West Ham United from all various sources so that you don't have to go anywhere else to find your West Ham hits, your West Ham information. You can go just on that site. There are other things like links to podcasts, more than just a podcast. There are links to West Ham YouTube channels like the West Ham Voice. It's a great place to go. Good information, good source of information. So do become a member. So every day we bring you a little bit of an update on all the West Ham stories that are happening. And here's the brief updates over the last few days. It's not everything because there's going to be more shows coming up. I'm doing the West Ham Weekly tonight. So join me for that, where there's a complete roundup of all the weekly news. And of course, you know, the topic of the moment, we're going to talk about David Moyes and where we go from here. But what about the stories that are happening at the moment? So first of all, Manuel Lanzini. Apparently, it's been reported that Lanzini is okay to leave West Ham United in the January transfer window. The story goes that the player, given that he's in his last year of his contract and he's surplus to requirements because of Lucas Paqueta's arrival, that he can leave West Ham United in January. Now, I'm not so sure about this story because Manuel Lanzini, there is a 2-year option to extend his contract that the club can trigger. So that's in place. Lanzini, as we know, given the injuries he's had, etc., he's had a bit of a change in what he does for West Ham United. He started a couple of games as a number 10, hasn't quite worked out, but we've also seen him play as a sort of a slightly deeper playmaker role alongside Declan, especially in Europa Conference. And if he does continue with that, if Moyes decides to utilise him more as in a deeper role, then perhaps him leaving West Ham United because of Paqueta's arrival may not quite happen. So it's going to be interesting to see whether there's any truth in that story or not. Next up is Ben Johnson. As we know, Ben Johnson is currently out with a hamstring injury. Much improved player over the past few months, but over the past couple of years, sorry. But a number of players have been offered, or there's been talk about there being offered improved contracts like Jared Bowen, Thomas Soucek, and Ben Johnson, of course. And since the transfer window was shut, there's much speculation that all these negotiations with current players would start happening. Nothing has happened since. We were trying to get Ben Johnson to sign an extended contract last year, but that didn't happen. So West Ham initiated the 2-year extension on his contract, and that's what he's currently on. So he's with a contract with us until 2024. West Ham United want the 22-year-old to sign an improved contract, but negotiations have yet to restart, and there's talk about that happening probably in the coming months. Next up, Nayef Aguerd. Well, Aguerd apparently may be back sooner rather than later for West Ham United. He's doing really well. He's back in the gym in training, and he's doing a lot of gym work, but he's not doing any work out on the pitch, on the grass at the moment. But there's a lot of speculation that it was initially thought that with his injury, he may not be back until after the World Cup. And now there's speculation that he could be back before the World Cup kicks off, which will be great news for West Ham United. David Moyes has alluded to the player being quite important for West Ham. Moyes has clearly got an idea in his head as to how he wants the formation to line up. And Aguerd is definitely part of that. If we can get him in before the World Cup starts and get him in for the big schedule that we've got in October and November, that will be a massive bonus. And next up, is Gianluca Scamacca. Um, Mancini, the Italy manager, the international manager for Italy, has talked about Scamacca and how it may take him 4 or 5 months to actually get acclimatized to Premier League football. Does this make David Moyes right in not picking him straight away, like a lot of fans are demanding? I'll leave that for you to decide. But Mancini has said that it takes time. There's a different pace to Premier League football, and Scamacca will come good, but it may take a little bit of time to acclimatize. So let's hope that he acclimatizes sooner rather than later. Last up, how many of you are expecting all the current owners to sell up and leave next season, at the end of next season? Well, everyone is talking about it. Everyone has been talking about it for many years, that the current owners, Scholes and Sullivan, are going to sell up. They're going to leave West Ham United, etc., etc., and that Kretinsky is going to take over. Look, we know what the terms of the London Stadium were. That if West Ham United were to, if Golden Sullivan were to sell up any time before March 2023, they'd be liable to a kind of like a windfall tax, and that diminished over years given the amount of money that was left outstanding. But there's been talk that Golden Sullivan, certainly Sullivan, wants to retain some kind of input into West Ham United, and may not necessarily sell enough shares in order for Kretinsky to take over. It's also understood that Kretinsky much prefers the status that he's in at the moment, where he has an investment interest in West Ham and not necessarily looking to take the club over in total. Kretinsky has made a lot of money back already in the investment that he's put into West Ham with shares and repayments on interest loans, etc. So there's a lot of speculation there that a lot of fans believe that Kretinsky will take over, but that might not necessarily be the case. So if you still got Golden Sullivan hanging around after March 2023, don't be surprised, people. Right, that's it. Very short, very brief. Thank you for watching. Do watch me on the West Ham Weekly later on Tuesday night. It will be on at 9 o'clock. Join me for that. There'll be much to talk about. All the week's news of West Ham United, of course. All the latest gossip about what's happening with Moyes, the players, and so on and so forth. We've got a lot to talk through. So do join me for that. And much appreciated for watching this brief show. And as I said, if you've yet to become a member, go to 6foot2.co.uk and become a member of that website. Excellent information provider for West Ham United, all West Ham United news. And if you want to become a subscriber for this channel, go on to West Ham Voice on YouTube and subscribe. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you all, well, very soon.